We know it's the time of year where it's speculations. All over the NFL, people are trying to figure out what free agents are going to go where, what teams are going to draft who. And I will tell you what, there are a lot of crazy takes. But NFL.com right here may have the craziest. Let's jump into it. My name is Aaron. You guys know on the daily, pushing out Patriots content to people like you who can't get enough Patriots football. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? 20 people away from 6,000 subs. Please help me get there. I'd appreciate it. Hit that sub button, hit the like button, comment below. So today what we're going to jump into is the NFL's latest mock draft, NFL.com. It will blow your mind. But as well, we back it with statistics, why it is incredibly wrong. But if it was right, it would be undoubtedly one of the best mock drafts, one of the best drafts scenarios that could happen for the Patriots. So we're going to get into that. As well, the odds-on favorite for the Patriots to land in the NFL draft. As well, a wide receiver that is not DK Metcalf that possibly could come to the Patriots. Let's jump into it. So, NFL.com. Yes, correct. NFL.com has just dropped this ridiculous mock draft. This comes after the scouting combine. And yes, you are seeing this correctly. The Tennessee Titans with the first overall pick. Shedeur Sanders, Colorado, quarterback, primetime son. Holy cow. Now, I don't disagree with the fact that it is very possible that if Cam Ward, which we'll get into that in a second, if Cam Ward is taken by the Tennessee Titans, then you start to get a little wave of quarterbacks, or I would say quarterback, another quarterback being taken, which would be Shedeur Sanders. Now, we've talked about this before. I think what is most likely going to happen is the Tennessee Titans draft Cam Ward. Then the Cleveland Browns, and I'm starting to lean, regardless if they trade Myles Garrett or not, they are going to still draft Abdul Carter. And then the New York Giants, I see the New York Giants probably taking Travis Hunter just because at that point he is the best available player. A lot of people would say he is one of the top two players, him and Abdul Carter. Now, Jackson Dart in this list is something that is crazy. He has shot up the list. I do think the likelihood of him being drafted in the first round has grown exponentially in the past since the scouting combine and leading up to that. So it is very possible that he somehow, some way, again, makes his way into the first round. Again, this is NFL.com. I'm a high school PE teacher. I research this stuff. I enjoy looking into this stuff. And you're probably saying, like, where the heck are your credentials? Well, listen, there's a lot of experts out there that predict a lot of things, and they're incredibly wrong. So there's a lot of people there's a lot of people on national television that spout out crazy, stupid, awful takes, and they make millions for it. So again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But Jackson Dart, I honestly think he is better than Shedeur Sanders. But again, a lot of people, the whole idea that last name Sanders, big deal. Obviously, he did do well, regardless if they made the playoffs or not this past year at Colorado. Him and Travis Hunter and others on that team really helped the Buffalo kind of get into the, hey, let's make a bowl game. I believe they won 9 games. They were in the hunt of the Big 12 championship. But regardless, Jackson Dart, I highly, this would be incredibly crazy if he ended up going number 3. But that leaves then Abdul Carter for the Patriots, which if you watch this channel, if you're like, you can get anyone in this draft, my thought is, not my thought, who I want is Abdul Carter. Again, I think he's a generational talent. Is he going to drop to number 4? I highly doubt it. Again, we always talk odds. The odds are not in our favor for Abdul Carter, but based on this crazy situation from NFL.com, again, crazy speculations, he would. Now, first, I just want to hear, what do you think that NFL.com, what do you think about them posting this? And I will tell you this, if it comes to late April, draft in Green Bay, and this is the first order of the first 4 picks, I'll admit I was wrong. I will come out with a public service announcement saying, listen, I messed up. I'll probably be live during the draft, but I will come out and tell you I messed up. But again, comment below, tell me what you think. Now, let me back this up. First and foremost, FanDuel has Cam Ward. The odds of him going first are minus 370. That means if you have no idea, you have to bet $370 to win $100. Okay? Anytime you see that minus, that's what it means. Abdul Carter is the second odds-on favorite to get drafted first overall. That means there's a plus inside in front of it. You have to, if you bet $100, you win $240, obviously, and the $100 back. And with any bet, you always win what on top of that what you bet. Now, Travis Hunter, all the way at number 3, is $2,000. You bet $100, you win $2,000. Shadur Sanders is $2,400. You bet $100, you win $2,400. I highly doubt. I don't know if this is a ploy by FanDuel and NFL.com. Aaron, what? Hold on. This ain't Joe Rogan. This is not conspiracy theory time. But again, maybe there's a coup. NFL.com, Shadur Sanders, FanDuel. They're trying. Listen. Oh, people see that plus 2,400. Man, I'm gonna start hitting that again. If I'm wrong, I'll come out. I'll admit it. I'm a man. I'm man enough to say I was wrong. But you have to admit this is pretty crazy coming from, of all places, NFL.com. If it was a website that was like crazysportsfan.net, everyone would be like, okay, yeah, this is no surprise. But again, NFL.com. So comment below. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's ridiculous? Again, I'm not saying there isn't a possibility. I would love it if Abdul Carter dropped to the Patriots, but I highly doubt that would happen. Now, continuing on with the draft, really cool website if you've never looked at it, NFLmockdraftdatabase.com. I don't get any residuals or anything for saying that. It's something I just enjoy looking at. This right here, based on all the mock drafts that are in this system, in this database, this is what they have. So Cam Ward, 45% like popularity essentially when it comes to people uploading mock drafts on here, kind of like a consensus of what they believe. Abdul Carter, number 2, Travis Hunter, number 3. And what you're going to see pretty consistently is Will Campbell, but notice it's only 31%. We've seen Mason Graham right there. We've seen McClellan right there, the wide receiver out of Arizona. As well, you've seen situations where they've traded. You've seen Travis Hunter as well. But what's interesting with Will Campbell, and someone commented this below, is during the scouting combine, his arm length for a tackle came in shorter than people would expect. And now let's remember, he played at LSU. He played in the SEC. This year, I wouldn't tell you it was the hands down best conference in college football. But usually year after year, they are the best, and it's usually the Big Ten. But you could switch and say the Big Ten was arguably the better conference this year. But regardless, he is going up against top tier talent. He's going up against top tier edge rushers, a lot that will be drafted, and so he held his own in the SEC. Now, with the shorter arms, worst case scenario, you say, okay, you're not holding it at tackle, we're going to put you to guard. But then the question becomes, do you want to draft a guy 4th overall to play guard? Who can tell? Who is the highest picked guard in NFL draft history? I mean, granted, he could very well become an all-pro at guard. That would be great. Guard was a situation that so many players were rotated around on the line last year. So many players. So the question becomes, is he worth that pick? Again, I'm leaning towards, if this was the situation, Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Will Campbell right there. Again, I would take Mason Graham over him. I think Mason Graham is a better talent than Will Campbell. And what's interesting is a lot, CBS, ESPN, I believe, NBC Sports, I believe even NFL.com actually has Kelvin Banks ranked as a better offensive tackle, the number 1 offensive tackle in the draft, and Will Campbell is actually number 2, which is incredibly interesting because most mock drafts have Kelvin Banks going later in the top 10, if not the low teens. And his biggest argument is the fact that he's not a great run blocker. So again, run is going to be incredibly important for the New England Patriots. So I kind of understand that. But again, given this situation, I really like Mason Graham. Again, I'm not opposed to McClellan, especially depending on what happens in free agency with wide receivers for the Patriots. Now, this is looking at the kind of consensus of the top players in the draft. Again, you have Cam Ward, which is crazy journeyman in college. Incarnate Word, Washington State, Miami, been all over the place. Abdul Carter, number 2, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, Mason Graham. Again, you keep going down the list, and then Will Campbell is number 6, which is, again, a lot of people project that he would get him. Now, what is very interesting is a lot of places that are doing kind of prop bets when it comes to specific teams and who is going to be their first round pick. A lot of places, including DraftKings, have the Patriots being the betting favorite to draft Travis Hunter. Again, going back to our odds, it was plus 2,000 Travis Hunter would be picked first overall. For the Patriots to pick him at number 4 is plus 190, which is not bad odds. Again, bet $100, win $190. So it's interesting to see. And a lot of people say, well, whatever, those are just odds. Yes, but there is a reason that all these sports gambling places make a ton of money, is because a lot of the time their analytics, the formulas they're using, whatever the heck is going on, probably AI is involved, they are pretty dang accurate when it comes to a lot of things. And a lot of people just make stupid parlays, and they're like, here's a 15-leg parlay and I'm putting $50 on it, and if it hits, I'm retiring the rest of my life. And we all know that ain't gonna happen, but you never know. If some of you want to live your dream, but do it responsibly. Anyways, just interesting to see, based on all that, then to say, hey, betting favorites for the Patriots, Travis Hunter. Wouldn't be a bad thing. Would not be a bad thing. Again, the only question becomes for Mike Vrabel and this organization, if Travis Hunter is right there, which I think they would draft him, would be, okay, could we trade back, get more trade capital, and possibly still get someone like a Will Campbell or, like I said, Mason Graham? Is that a possibility where you're getting another pretty quality pick? I don't know. And is that worth it? Because, again, their number one priority is the trenches. Again, it's just food for thought. Now, jumping back into a more realistic mock draft, just to end this segment on mock drafts, all stemming from the craziness of NFL.com. Again, I think this is realistic. Abdul Carter, number 1. Based on that, yes, the Browns need a quarterback. They get Cam Ward. Giants are probably going to be smart and say, listen, we need a playmaker, even though they had Malik Neighbors. But think about that. If you have Travis Hunter playing, I'm not going to say 100% of snaps, both sides, like he said he wants, but if he's playing some wide receiver for the Giants as well as cornerback, but him and Malik Neighbors paired, that'd be pretty darn dirty. And whatever quarterback is coming in for that team, again, there's some very notable big-time free agent quarterbacks that possibly could end up in New York. And again, we already saw that Geno Smith is going to be traded to the I almost said Seattle Seahawks, but that's where he is, to Las Vegas, Oakland. I want to say Oakland Raiders. There we go. That was a mess. But he's getting traded there, reuniting with Pete Carroll. It's going to be interesting. I think that's more of a Band-Aid fix. I don't think that's a fix. But again, I think it's the Raiders see, hey, I don't see any quarterback in this draft that we are willing to really go after. And it's also possible too that they try to trade up and say, hey, we want to get a player like Justin Hunter. Again, if Travis Hunter. I'm struggling this last section. Have grace for me. Have mercy. Travis Hunter. There we go. But you better believe if Travis Hunter does drop to the Patriots, that phone is going to be buzzing. It is going to be buzzing, and the Patriots are going to have a crazy decision to make, and I hope they make the right one. Now, granted, if someone's like, listen, I will give you our first-round pick this year and next year, and we'll give you a second-round pick, like, man, it's worth a conversation. Always worth the conversation. Last but not least, and comment any of that draft stuff, comment below. I would love to hear from you. Last but not least, Patriots possibly predicted to land a wide receiver, older, and that would be Cooper Kupp. Now, hear me out on this. I do find this interesting. DK Metcalf, I don't think it's worth the rental, quote unquote. There's based on what Seattle wants, it's not worth it, or what it supposedly they want. I don't think it's worth it. Cooper Kupp, I think, though he is out of his prime, is going to come at a much, much lower cost. The question becomes, what is that cost? Again, we look at DeAndre Hopkins was traded to the Chiefs, and he only cost the Chiefs a conditional 5th-round pick, which would have turned into a 4th-round pick if he got more snaps, but he was fine. So the question would become, would the Patriots be willing to give up a conditional 5th or something like that to get a Cooper Kupp for who knows how long? I would assume it's not going to be more than 3 years, and so is that worth it for the Patriots? I don't know. Again, that seems like kind of like we're talking about the Geno Smith situation. It seems like you're putting a Band-Aid on a bigger problem. Is Geno Smith a quarterback that is going to lead a team to a Super Bowl? I don't think so. No. Is Cooper Kupp right now a true number 1 wide receiver? Again, you look at this team, and if he stepped on this team, it's very likely he could be the best wide receiver. Yeah, he very well could. Again, it all depends on how a lot of these younger wide receivers kind of hopefully come out of their shell and develop. But yeah, he very kind of like talking about Landry off the edge from the Titans, who they just released their edge rusher. If he came to the Patriots right now, he most likely would be the best. Again, it's not saying a whole lot, but we'll see what happens. Again, a lot of dominoes going to be falling into place within this next week, so please stay tuned. Wow, we usually we go about 10 minutes or so. Man, we were flying today. 17 minutes. Love having you here. Again, 20 away from 6,000. Hit that sub button. Comment below. Say whatever the heck you want. We'll talk later. Peace.